Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? So, a couple things. First off, I'm using these headphones because some folks have told me my little speaker device that I use in my phone doesn't, I don't know, doesn't make it loud or something. So, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure this out. Thursdays are a little rough for me to get these recordings done early, as I have an interview at 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock, and I frankly don't want to be rushed when I give you this kind of daily, this daily news. And I got to tell you, I don't know if you call it good news, but I can find. Hey, everyone there. Looks like the internet is misbehaving today. Anybody out there? Give me a little thumbs up or something. All right, I'm going to assume I'm live, given the head count is growing. So, real quick, I can finally see how we put a bottom in the stock market. I think the stock market. Thank you for letting me know. Thanks, guys. So I know how we're going to put a bottom in the stock market. The stock market we're going to use as a leading indicator. It will rebound far faster than the consumer market. But this is what I see happening. Uh, if you've been watching these daily updates, you know I've been kind of I don't want to say negative or pessimistic. I think I've been realistic that things were going to get worse, and I keep telling you that. But follow me on this logic. Let me know what I'm missing, because sometimes you need the collective thought of the group to really get into this. So first and foremost, I think it's painfully clear that we need to institute a national shutdown. I think the powers that be have been reluctant to call a national shutdown for the fear that that would send through the country. You know, when you look at the map of where this is, it's in New York, Seattle, and San Francisco in great numbers. Well, those are important cities. I certainly live in one of them, but it's really not impacting the nation yet. So the powers that be were reluctant. Um, I think it's clear when you look at what's happening in Iran. They are suffering a death every 10 minutes. And they took, for the most part, the same strategy we did. Hey, it's the flu, no big deal. And they're now paying the cost. Their health care and all of that stuff is nothing compared to ours, but still, think about losing someone every 10 minutes. And it probably gets worse from here. So let's get over ourselves, realize that a national emergency, a national stay home, whatever you want to call it, spring break, you got to spin it well, right? That has to happen. But equally important, the federal government needs to send money to its citizens. I did a video just earlier today about a proposal from the House that is exactly the kind of thing that I've been saying needs to come. They need to send some amount of money to every adult, whether it's 2,000 or 1,000. It needs to be something. They also need to send money to the kids, or at least for the kids, right? Kids are expensive, right? So some dollar amount, $500, whatever it is. Second, they need to continue these payments every month as long as we're being asked to stay home, right? Um, yes. So we need to realize that this could go on 2 or 3 months. But again, if we have agreed to send, in essence, money, paychecks to people, it will be a lot easier to limp through. That's kind of the revenue or income side. But on the expense side, it is clear, and again, it is in the proposal, that we need to declare essentially a debt holiday. Mortgage payments, car notes, credit cards, all that stuff has a debt holiday as long as this is, we're in shutdown mode. So that's going to happen. But then what happens to the landlords, right? We are on a real estate channel. What about them? Well, good news. This is, they're also thinking about the landlords. They're like, you know what? They've done nothing wrong either. They're being asked to do this and that. We're going to give them a mortgage holiday, or a forbearance, as it's often referred to, and we'll give them a break in payments. There's been no discussion about property taxes. My suspicion is property taxes are handed at the state level, not the federal. I assume the federal government will highly incent people or incent states to delay tax payments. However, as a landlord, there's so much other expenses like insurance, which has to be paid. You would hate to not have insurance when you need to make a claim. Capital or just normal operating expenses, stuff breaks, toilets get clogged, things of that nature. So there will still be expenses for the landlord, but at least they're talking about taking care of the bigger things. So I think something like this is coming on all levels. I think the American public, the American citizens will get a check. I think there will be a debt holiday for consumers. I think there will be a debt holiday or forbearance for landlords. I think the federal government will do this and at the same time institute a national holiday. We have to flatten the curve. Too much of the country is still running around partying on the beach in Florida. And if we continue with that attitude, we will be Iran. And given our population is, I don't know what it is, but I bet you it's 100 times bigger. It might be 200 times bigger. We could be suffering a death every 60 seconds from something that is preventable if we just stay home and sit on the couch. But we can't because we're a consumer-based economy, a service-based economy, and all those things. But the powers that be in the government have one shot at this. This is unprecedented. We haven't had a pandemic since 1918. I wasn't investing back then. Neither were you. So this is uncharted territories. This is going to happen. This will instantaneously explode the stock market. Yes, the stock market earnings will be terrible in Q1. They'll be terrible in Q2. But the stock market is a forward-leading indicator, and they will go great. The consumer is now whole. They will get through this. And oh, by the way, people are going to be spending that money. They're going to be going on Amazon and buying all kinds of garbage, which is so sad. We need to save money. I personally think the government should create a special savings account for folks that, hey, if you want to save this money or any money, this is here, put it in a, back in World War II, we had something called war bonds. Let's create something that incents savings. I am very, very nervous about the precedent that we are going to be setting with this required medicine. And again, it is required. I get it. But I am always looking in the future. We are going to have more people hooked on government programs. We are going to have more and more folks looking for handouts. We are going to have huge inflation. I mean, you just don't understand the amount of inflation that is going to be coming for years and years to come. But it's required. I get it. Just like chemotherapy is required and doesn't feel good for cancer patients, it is a way to survive. And if we don't get through this, we could easily have 20 to 25% unemployment. We could easily have negative 15% GDP. We could easily end up in a depression. That's kind of the choices, and I get it. But I am concerned about our future. We are mortgaging our future. We are guaranteeing inflation. We are guaranteeing more and more renter nations because with inflation will come increased rents and increased prices and lots of things. So again, I can see the bottom. I can see it. If the federal government is willing to institute sending checks, create debt holidays for individuals and landlords and small businesses and all these other programs that they're going to want to throw out, we will get through this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. But after that, scares me to death, frightens me. All I know is the best thing to own in an inflationary environment is rental real estate. It will go up in value because of inflation. Rents will go up tremendously. Congratulations, Josh, made it through your cruise. That's great. So I go back to the video I did a few days ago. Owning or buying your first or second rental house in 2020 is going to be a good idea, especially if the government approves and signs this bill or memorandum or act or whatever they want to call it. Consumers will be confident again. Everybody will see the future is going to be bright. We will limit the number of deaths from this thing. We certainly do not want to be Iran or Italy. So we got to do it. We got to get through this. So let me know what you think. In my earlier video today, I sent out Too Good. There's a video called Too Good to Be True. Check it out. There's actually a link to the article, or actually not an article. It's a memorandum from the House of Representatives. I have it printed right here. Something like this is required, absolutely required. But I am so afraid for what will happen in the future. Take a read. It's 6 pages. You're staying home anyway, so take a read. It took me about 20 minutes to get through it. I've read it 4 or 5 times now. So take a read. Let me know what you think. Please leave comments about what I may have missed, because sometimes I miss things. The other thing is I like the stock market action today. I haven't checked in a little while. It opened without big ups or downs. Oil is a leading indicator. I think oil is already seeing what's coming, right? Because again, if the consumer feels strong again and they're going to have money to spend, they're going to start driving again. So it's pretty predictable what's coming. Again, I think the economy has more pain ahead, but if this gets approved Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, stock market's going to go up. They're going to just wash out Q1 and Q2, and we'll go from there. I'm still not buying stocks. I won't buy any stocks. I needed them to go down 50% before I looked. I think they were basically 30% as of yesterday evening. So we'll see. This could obviously blow up. This could obviously not be approved by the Senate, maybe. But I doubt it. They all want to get reelected. It's kind of the price we pay for having politicians. So have a wonderful day. Keep the faith. I'm actually going to produce a video here in a little bit about the 10 things I've learned over the last 20 years that I know with 100% certainty about real estate investing. That's got a lot of feedback on Facebook, so I thought I'd create a video here. Yes, I think it actually is in this bill. Mortgage holiday for landlords. So yes, if you have a rental house, you have Airbnb, you have multifamily, they are at least currently talking about a mortgage holiday. They're talking. I think it'll happen. I really do. Again, I don't know what that means for us in the future, but it's interesting. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. Take care. Thanks.